1 second here. Sorry, I was just finishing up this other call here. 1 moment. Morning, Gary.
Morning.
Okay, I was just thinking going through the Mosaic page for our ongoing projects. Just we can do that. William, do you have anything in mind?
Nope, that's kind of what I figured we would roll over today because we didn't get to it last week.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll share my screen here and we'll go through that. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, let's start with this one here, right? I know we started with this check-in. How's everybody doing? Hopefully all is good and staying safe.
Yeah, everything here in Georgia is going well. Looking forward to heading down to the beach in Florida next week.
Nice.
Same here in New York. Family is all okay. We didn't have yet any type of issues with COVID, but one of my uncles in the Dominican Republic passed away last week. Fortunately, the only issue that happened due to that COVID, locking up the whole country, was that my cousins weren't able to go on time to go see him before he died because there's no commercial flights in between the United States and the Dominican Republic. Luckily, at least two of them went to the funeral and were able to say goodbye to his father, to their father.
Sorry to hear that, Charlie. I know when we talked early last week, you mentioned something. It wasn't about COVID, so that was that's sad. So very sorry to hear that.
Thanks. He died from organ failure.
I'm sorry.
He died from organ failure,
Okay.
but it was pretty tough for my cousins because they were trying to see if they could go. They weren't allowing any flights, and they had to go through a whole bunch of hoops just to get two tickets out of three. So one of them had to stay here in the States. Wasn't even able to go bury their father. So only two of the cousins, out of three, were able to go to the country. At least went to. Most of the family that are here in the States, they were not able to go, including myself.
Yeah, sorry about that. Everybody else doing good? You and your family staying safe?
Yeah, we were all good so far. It was just that little of not being able to do anything for the other family members because of the lockdown in the country. So that was the only bad part about the situation.
Okay.
Thanks for it.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. So these are the ongoing projects that we all have access to. We'll go through this and we'll call out on the team here as you are plugged into each one of these just to get a quick update where we stand there and what activities that you're working on, and then we'll look ahead for next week. What do you got going on as well? If it's something that you're busy with, something that you need support, or you need something to work on. So as we cover those for the if you're leading an activity or supporting and you need any additional layer of support, please call that out and we'll work through it. We have the capacity and the bandwidth to support that. Okay. So this one here, that's Chris is not able to join. He's got a dentist appointment. Let's see, do we have, so Moses and Terry, they must be on UPS, right? William, we can, I know Charlie is on. Okay.
Yeah, they're both traveling this morning.
Yeah. Okay. Everybody else is on. All right. So upcoming, this is a blue ocean initiative. This is going to be always like kind of an ongoing thing, upcoming / ongoing. And then under this, you'll find the 3 initiatives that we're talking about: ventilator, elevated body temperature, and there's the physical distancing over here. There's also this Reimagine Now that I showed you, that I shared with you in the last few rounds. And then some of this will take us to that initiative as well, or initiative for Reimagine, as you hear about those 6 activities going on right now with these sprints. Some of us are tied to that and supporting the needs. So starting with these ones here under investigation, there's this ventilator asset tracking. This is one of these Reimagine Now that Chris and myself are supporting. So what I can do, let me show you. Let me show you how does this look like. I'll just use the this flow here. So within this, there's this page that goes for the this is ours here. I think there's 2 pages for this initiative. Yeah, this is our mosaic page. There's a lot of details in here that addresses this whole initiative. And then there's also, you can go to Reimagine Now. Right here. And I ask for each one of you guys to, I would add this to, not necessarily to the watch list, but have it in your favorite or add it in so you can come to it easily. Because those are 6 initiatives that you'll hear, you're probably hearing around, and it's floating around with these teams that are supporting these Reimagine Now initiatives, okay? So the ones that we are working directly with is this increased robotics sales. So I'm personally on that one. Cam is also supporting this. We are supporting the medical devices, Chris and myself. And then there's a virtual technician initiative, or Reimagine Now. Is Chris is also engaged with this one. These 3 we might get pulled in or called for something to support around digital marketing as well. But there are sprints that are going behind the teams that are leading this. And the idea here is, okay, what are the 6 main things that we wanted to focus on due to this pandemic and the situation, things that's gonna help us get to our numbers, and things that's gonna get us, you know, to step up the business and get into these markets. So On this one for medical devices, there is, I'll show you here, this is the lead of the team. Simon is leading this, and there's a team behind that, and that's working and supporting it. Talks about the vision, and there's an epic story, and same kind of flow, right? This is, I think we're used to this format. So basically, it talks about what's in the backlog and what's happening. So there's a lot of details in here. What I want to show you is this one. You should all have access to this. I don't think any of this stuff is locked in or anything. It's open. So what we did for this one, we have this PowerPoint. Okay, and this is what I wanted to show you. Let me see here. Okay. Doesn't in this format, it does not play. There's animation here. Let me try to do it locally, but I wanted to show you where to find it. So you would need to download it for these animations to play, but I have a copy of it here. Basically, what we put in, and Chris is instrumental, he put this together. We have this conceptual view, and then we're highlighting here what is it within SICK that we have to provide in this space. In other words, what is it our offerings from to track these devices, in this case medical devices, but it could be outside of that. It's not just limited to this, from like an end-to-end solution, right? So as I walk you through this, I'm gonna you'll see there's two other presentations in this format, and that's the line of thinking where we going with this is, especially on the ones that make sense on a market level, is have that mindset where we have, when you work on these initiatives or applications, we want to have this view or this understanding of what is it that we're truly doing, where can we take this, how can we take it to other customers, and we want to put this together as a talking point or as a slide to pass on to sales and marketing team in efforts to drive business. So that's the idea. And as I walk through this, you'll see, how this is relevant. And there might be a project that you're working on or have worked on already that we want this this storytelling sort of thing to drive business, right? And for both internal and external. Internal for awareness for the team, sales team, and others. External, of course, with customers to demonstrate and showcase what we have. So think of it from that perspective. There's different formats in here, but it's for the sake of the same reasoning. So what we have in here is, again, is demonstrating what these end-to-end solutions look like. We break it down into three lanes, if you would, or three phases in the process. There's the manufacturing, there's the logistics, and there's the customer space. And then we'll elaborate more in here. Within manufacturing, there's the assembly part that's picking up the right tag, right RFID tag, and then make sure that it's applicable across all these phases within this end-to-end roadmap in here. Within a warehouse, we have our RFID technology to kind of facilitate that and do the tracking. This is also as it leaves the warehouse, gets out of the door through into the loading trucks. it goes through this gate that we have, the RFID gate, and then there's be elaboration on these here. From high level perspective, what's the offerings? Where do we plug in? And how can we help the customer solve a challenge or a need? Okay. And then as it gets to logistics, just, follow this through. It comes out, gets on a truck. Now it's in transit. We have a TDC that can do the outdoor localization. And then it comes out as it's passing through. We have a software in our dynamic dashboard that can pull the data and populate it on a dynamic dashboard. Some of us have seen this. This is just an outcome of a TDC information. Here could be a SIM 1012. It could be anything, right? That transforms or translates or passes on data upward. And then these are just, visualization of these dashboards. As it's coming, this is like in transit. Now we're on the customer side. When they receive information or just from a handheld device, very simple retrieval, we get the data, then we also able to track it here through our ultra wideband solutions for indoor localization, right? Same concept here, get the data, push it up. Now we have it in this database on a cloud base, whatever the customer ends up storing it. And this is just a mock-up of what does that look like, right? What is within this one? These are details as far as retrieving the information and so on. A very high level overview. This is a little bit more details. Our expertise around picking up the right tag, ensuring that it's applicable across all these processes. And moving on here, just a little bit more insight. What does that look like? What do we have in that regard? Some part numbers, some family types as it suits. This is here for RFID itself. Similar thing here. We get into the RFU 650 gate that provides the bi-directional view in here with this RFU 650 if it's going inward or outward. This is like a pre-engineered solution that can be plug and play, and it provides this tracking mechanism coming into the outdoor using TDC, and same thing, right? There's just a little bit more details in here of how does that look like until it gets to the customer. Now we can use the ultra wideband solution tracking this device as it moves around within the facility. And these are some dashboard or mock-ups just to say how would that look like on the user interface part. Okay, so just wanted to share that with you. This is all on Mosaic. This one you will find it here under this Reimagine Now. Please take a look at those. I mean, there's a lot of content in there. This is a pretty nice overview for that, for that flow of processes and like an end-to-end solution. There might be something that a customer wants that we don't have. It'll be an eye-opener. It might be an opportunity we work on. But these are the things that we are engaged with and supporting. Okay. So I'm going to pause here for a second and see if you guys have any questions on that before I move on to the other initiatives. Any questions? You guys still there?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So again, the idea here is sharing with you where are we engaged, what are we doing. Hopefully this, sparks something that you are either engaged with or maybe something on your space as you're working on your activities that I'll come forward and ask you for putting something together to kind of demonstrate this. Again, what do we bring in to the table? what can we solve, and if we have something that we have done already, that's even better. And I'll share more about that here. We have some good examples to reflect on. Okay, so that's here for this one, the medical tracking or ventilator acid tracking. There's this elevated body temperature, and this is something I know Chris, Abdul, and myself are working on or supporting. There's a mosaic page for this one, lots of details in here. What this is a employee body temperature, and we presented this to the management board. We are asking for having a thermal or a thermal camera to do some testing with, and the idea is to implement it in at one of our facilities in efforts to test it out, and then hopefully, if everything works out, we'll be able to sell it to our potential customers. So again, there's a lot of information here, a lot of details. It's one of those 3 initiatives that I keep referring to under Blue Ocean Initiative. So that's underway, just awaiting approval for hardware, and we'll do validation and testing. Niagara Water just got off the call here. Let me see I think you guys just put something in here. William, I think there's something here, I believe. What this is, yeah, this is the team. So it's led by Chris and Mike from sales, Colin, and Larry. I think he's an AE. So what we're doing with this one, again, Chris is supporting. Let me, so this one, I'll just show you very quickly what this is about. This is about monitoring the dock area to guide the trailers or the trucks to back up or dock into these stations, right? Very high level. And this is what we're talking about. There's a lever in here. There's something that to make sure that it's aligned. There's some stacked lights here to kind of direct the driver to back up or stop. And then there need to be a vision application. I think the MRS right now is what they're entertaining for, to make sure there's nothing in place if they were to load it or bring an AGV or AGC or whatever is loading or forklift, whatever is loading those trucks. So we Chris is supporting this. The plan is for him to go next week and work with the Niagara and the application engineer on this MRS solution. And if this works out, we're competing against IFM in here, and then if things work out, the potential, just got off the call earlier, we're talking about 4 or 5 million. So it's pretty substantial. It would be a great offering for us. There's a lot of details in here. Again, I ask you guys to take a peek at these things, get familiar with it. It's good insights. And if these kick off, then it'll be great opportunities for us on the integration piece. It's still in the infancy stage. It's actually next week will be the testing against IFM, and we'll see where that goes. Any questions on that one? Okay, next one here is the San Francisco demo. Half of our team is actually supporting this. There's between Nick, Abdul, Chris, Eric, And now William, because William will be like the program manager for this, supporting the team. So very quickly, I know Chris is working on the dashboard side of things. And then Abdul, you're supporting him on the needs there. He's primarily the lead, and if anything needed, I think he's working with you in the background. And Nick and Eric, maybe Nick, just give the team here just a quick glance of where you at with this. If you have anything that you want to show that's relevant and would be good just from an update perspective.
One second. I don't have anything up. I did not know I'd be showing it.
It's okay. I'm here. If it is on Mosaic, I can get there. If you want to take the ball and drive, please do that.
Yeah, I'm just bringing it up. It's on Mosaic somewhere, but there's not much on there because most of the stuff is 3D models right now, and Mosaic doesn't support 3D model previews.
Okay.
I can't even do 3D PDFs. You'd have to download them, and they take just as long to load as what I'm doing right now. So, all right. So, let's see here. So basic layout of the system will be something to this degree. What we're focusing on is the robotic system, the autonomous mobile robot system, and then some bins that are going to be flowing between these two conveyors. Basically, the overall concept is to kind of mirror a quality control process. We've selected 2 different parts. There'll probably be 5 parts overall, but we're starting with 2. One's a SureSense photoelectric sensor, and the other is just a typical bolt. And those 2 bins will be in the loop here. And so the AMR will drop a bin off to this system for inspection, and meanwhile the other one will be on this conveyor, and then it'll just keep working between those. So once this one's done, it'll get it back, it's going to run it over and put it here, get the other one off on this side, and go again. Once something's in the system, this is what the system will look like for the robotic system. The AMR will drop it off here. You have your lector and an RFID scanner, which will tell the robotic system what part is coming in. It's going to pick using a PLB 520, 5, 10 parts, something like that. We have a PIM 60 up here to inspect some features, which if they fail, the robot will throw it into this bin as a reject. If they don't fail, it'll lay it down on this table. After a certain number are picked, it'll reverse the process. It's going to use a Plock 2D to visualize what's on the table and then put them back into the bin, and we'll go through the whole loop again. That's basically what's happening. In terms of progress, we're at the point of just getting our bill of materials together and doing some initial testing and finalization. Once we have approval, we can actually move forward. So.
Okay, thank you for the update. I know you and Nick and Eric, you guys are working on this in the background, and that's for the San Francisco demo area. I know we exchanged emails here, but now that we have Abdul and the rest of the guys from like Nick and Eric, the controls part, there's an RFID there, there's the motion control for the motor in there, and I'm thinking just backward and forward. Is this being addressed? Have you guys talked about the PLC integration to that and the needs?
There is no PLC.
It's not needed?
The robot can handle, because everything is going through a UR cap, so it becomes very simplified through the robot. The PLC is not necessary. We're going to use a SIG 100 just for some basic logic processing, but the robot's going to handle the majority of the logic processing. It's just with UR robots, it's much easier to do it, and we have to be with this particular demo, they have to be able to support it in California, and most of us are 3,000 miles away. And UR caps are graphical and very easy to use. So that was the route we went with that. The SIG is literally just going to be managing some sensors that are on the conveyor. The robot's going to be handling everything through its UR caps otherwise. The SIG will be just triggering the conveyor as well, just through a basic on-off. A PLC will be overkill compared to the SIG.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. Would there be any interfacing or interlocking as the fetch robot, if that's what's bringing in the material? I mean, if we don't need the PLC, absolutely not. Even if we needed some level of control, the idea is leveraging our controllers, right? Maybe the SIM1012 or the SIG, if something can be done as far as light work. But if we don't need the PLC, a third-party PLC, let's call it that way, would be even better. But just as far as interfaces and all that goes, are we covered also?
Yes, the fetch robot uses what's called fetch link. Eventually, it's going to be a TDC that is fetch link. Fetch is working on integrating TDC for that, and switching from their current technology. But the current technology is what we're going to use, and that fetch link device is what communicates with the fetch robot for the docking process, and it will tell us when to turn on the conveyor.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Yeah. As long as we have all these, telegrams in place, and like I say, if we don't need any of the PLCs there, whatever we can leverage as far as interfaces and communication protocols and all that, that would be ideal. Trying to prove, our what's the differentiator here. So that's good. That's good to hear. So anything else on that topic for San Francisco demo?
Not that I know of, unless Eric has something to add.
Nope, nothing in particular.
Okay.
Same here, Salim. It was just a general question initially about what's controlling the conveyor. There was some discussions at the very beginning that the TDC will, but the TDC has a limitation on the I/O, so that was just a question to see if we need another device. And I see now we have the SIG, so this is great. Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, the UR robot could do it as well. It does have I/O capability. It just would be a little bit more. It's a little bit easier to do it with the SIG and just simplify the UR programming doing that.
I agree. Yep. Cool.
Okay. Perfect. We'll move on here. I do have a hard stop at 10:30 my time, so that's in about 25 minutes. So I'm gonna go through these very quick. Like I said, I'd like for you guys to be familiar with this. We'll still do the update, like I did update this here on behalf of. Did we lose someone? Who did? Did we lose Nick?
Yeah, it looks like you scared Nick off.
Okay. Well, that was okay. I mean, if that scared him, wait till he hears this. So I'm just kidding. Yeah. So the next 20 minutes, we'll just skim through these and maybe just 10 minutes on this, and then the last 5 we'll talk about the. I mean, you guys can carry on and talk, but for me, I have to drop off. But for the ongoing activities and the if anybody needs support. I know Daniel is on site right now as we speak, but this one here for UPS, San Francisco. So maybe William, you just touch on those UPS activities, just high level where we at. Is it still live? Is it happening? What's going on between this one and I think there's a couple more that relates to UPS. Let's hit that, and then we'll switch on to the other ones. William?
Yep. So sharing my page here just so that we got them. So UPS brought several customers to us. SF Express, we're in the investigation phase, coming up with a solution for them. I believe they've got 2 sites, as long as I'm not mixing these up, one in LAX and one in Ontario, where they want to bring in a conveyor that will sort to several different lanes. Basically be project management for this. It seems like we'll probably bring in the conveyor company to handle the controls, and we'll just be the single point of contact between all the different hands that are going to touch this project. I would assume in the next week or so we should get an update on this one and get a quote out to them. Let's see. TIFCO, we had an initial meeting with them a little over a week ago. Bruce Muir is currently working with conveyor companies to come up with a conveyor solution for this one. I believe this one will also probably include a Panda. So we'll have PCA involved, the conveyor company. Again, will act as the project manager on site, single point of contact for this one as well. Haven't seen any updates on this one since we had our initial call, but I would assume in the next week we'd probably get a feedback from Bruce and get in front of TIFCO, see if this meets their needs. Hibbett Sports, same thing. We'll be acting as a project manager. They're looking to redesign a system and have all of their UPS shipments go through one of their current lanes, and we'll repurpose it. Right now they've got, I think it's like 13 to 15 chutes, and they're manually picking it, placing it on the floor in a designated area for a certain store, and then on certain days they grab those and move them over to the UPS trailer side. They're looking to go away from that method and just have everything coming off the conveyor, ship out every day as it's ready. Again, that one will include new conveyors, Panda, and 2 to 3 door sorter at the end. So this one, I believe we sent out all of our information to UPS, and UPS will put their package together and then present it to Hibbett. So
Hey,
we're waiting on
William, what's the, sorry, what was the project, what was the total final number for that?
I have not seen that from Zach, so I'm not exactly sure on that yet. Like I said, I believe we're at that point where we're putting in, we've given UPS all the information. I know this one, they wanted a go live date of September 1st. So, but I haven't gotten any updates from the sales team to know where exactly we're at. It's on my list of things to do, to get in touch with Robert and Zach and figure out where we're sitting with all of these different projects. Because once we get them the information, we kind of haven't heard much from them.
Okay. Yeah, if all right. Yeah, let's see where they at. I think it would be good if you call a meeting like Tuesday or Wednesday next week. Kind kind of walk through it, like what we're doing here, and hear them out, because yeah, we were pushing and now we got into a silent mode. I don't know if something changed on UPS side, or is it something, whatever the case is, but we have those four, I think four, if not five of them already. Would be nice to have this quick, maybe half an hour or an hour call in with these guys, and I'm sure they have more insights because they're working on a daily basis with them.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put something together next week for that. And then the last one we have from UPS would be Alliance. We did get a finalized quote out to them. Feedback from UPS was the customer was a little bit shocked at the numbers and pushing back a little bit. So UPS is handling that. But the feeling is that we probably won't get most of that one this year. So again, you know, I'm getting that call next week. Maybe we can get some more updates on the status of that one.
Okay. All right. Thank you, William. Hopefully we will know something for next Friday, right? But as we connect with the UPS sales force, see what's going on there. We'll move on to, is that everything, William? Can we switch back?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, those are all of the UPS customers as of right now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, coming back here, the Swiss log, Michelin, is this, well, this is with Daniel. Is this what you got going on, Abdul, or this is something else?
I believe, Salim, this is something else.
Okay.
What we're
All right,
working
so
on
that's
is Sumitomo.
okay. All right. Okay.
This
Thanks.
sounds more like a French company.
Okay. So if the Sumitomo, I don't know if maybe it's this one. Okay. So we got to that afterwards. Abbott Labs. I think this is between Chris and Gary. Gary, can you give us a quick update here?
Yeah, we're still just looking into this, and we've determined that we're going to just play a support role here, and looks like PCA will take the lead, and we will. It's just an interface of a tri-spector to a Rockwell PLC. And so that's our portion, is to grab the data from the tri-spector and make it available inside the customer's PLC for them to use the data.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know why it's well, this is, let me see if I can unlock. So if someone has it locked, it lets you unlock it.
Yeah, I don't know why I had it locked. I don't have it open.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I don't know. I'm not sure, but this one, is this, okay. So we need to, you guys need to come back and update this here. It's no longer S&SI. Initially, we were gonna take this role. So just please revisit that and clean that up.
That's the example one. So it doesn't look like that one's been updated at all. That's the.
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought this is the template. But okay, so yeah. So this is a leftover from, maybe that's the initial one we had then, right?
Yeah, this is just the template. So nobody's gone in and updated it as of yet.
Okay. Okay. All right. So a couple of things. Maybe on this one, I mean, initially, if we were leading that, then we would apply here. But two things, right? If we just play in a support role, We might not have to do this effort. If you, Gary, want to do it just to get familiar with this, that's fine. We'll just play a support role, and then PCA, not PCA, it'll be, in this case, let me move to the template because it shows MPM serial, they will be the accountable. So I think it's still good. I would recommend for you, Gary, to go in and do this. You do it anyways, right? But make sure you have the MPM and the others in here and update it. This would be good for us to keep. The other thing, William, if this is the template, we need to make sure we have the latest one without the A and R's. Remember, we said it's just A. If it's A and R, it's just A because they're accountable.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go through and update that.
Okay. Yeah, please, let's do that. And for the team, like, yeah, Gary, I recommend you go in, clean this up and update it. And let's get into this rhythm for all of us. Even if we are playing a support role, it took us here a few phone calls and emails and meetings to get to the bottom of this, which is good. It's healthy, but we can just, if we have something like this and it's all identified, then then people will start getting more used to it, and it's documented. It's not like, if it's an MPM serial AE in this case, they are the ultimate accountable. We are just playing a support role. We have it, it's communicated, no questions asked. So let's be the change agent in here and lead with example and fill these out. It took us several sessions to do this, and I'm publicizing this with, I've already shown it to Doug and LTS guys. I'm working with Dave Slifer, who is in charge of CPM Pre, and other and the project management team. So they love the concept, they love the idea of having this, and I'm just getting their buy-in and circulating this with them. So it becomes a common tool that we all standardize on. And this was an output of most of us here on the team. I know, Nick, we talked about this several times about the job descriptions and who is who and the roles and responsibilities. We knew there was nothing in place. So this is, I would say this is like 80 to 90% accurate. There might be a little bit of things you need to add on, but please, team, follow this and get to the habit of pushing this and ensuring this is clear. We tend to play different roles, and if it's not clear, it's going to come back and bite us. And we don't want to do that. We want to be proactive and we want to be clear. So I cannot stress it enough. I expect us, as we're supporting or engaged with a given project, to have this as a must for our project page. And if you have any question, you can come to me or William. We spent a good bit of time on this, supported by Daniel. Chris was involved with this, and Nick. So any questions on that?
Where can I find that file?
Good question.
It should be on every project page. If it's not, let me know and I'll upload it. Some of the project pages got created before it was attached to the template. So just let me know if you don't have one on your project page and I'll upload one for you.
So, yeah, thank you, William. The idea is each and every project we're working on, and I'll raise this question again, and it's an action for the team. If you're working on something that is not in here, please make sure that it's reflected and it's captured. Something crossed my mind earlier. I forget what it is. I think it's probably not in here. This is probably 90% of what we are engaged with. If it's not, please, you know, bring that up. William can create the template a little quick. And then we're getting to this, within the template, it would have, what I mean by the template, it's the one pager, right? It's like, take this one, for example. So William did an awesome job with this. It will come with this structure. You just have to fill in certain things, and William can help you with that, with your initial one, then you own it. And then there's this part here, but I think if I understood you, William, you would have that plain template, which is the Excel file for example, this one, this might not have it. This wasn't, this came up, you know, just the last couple months, but it will have
Yeah,
that Excel
Alcon
template,
was
right?
created well before.
Yeah.
But yeah, so on the new template, I've uploaded the roles and responsibilities. So as we create new projects, it'll be on there. Right now, it's the schedule and the roles and responsibilities comes with every one of these pages. But if you have a project that you're actively working on now that doesn't have that, let me know and I'll upload the most current version for you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, William, for that. So yeah, that's the idea. And then so in this case, I was just stepping in and filling for Chris as we are engaged on these. Expectations for each one of the team as you own or support your activity or your project, whatever you're tied up to, is that you give us an update, and then more or less is like I said, if you have a need or it doesn't have to wait for this, by the way, but the idea is like, all right, leverage the support around us. Okay, so please take a look at this, dive into this and come prepared with questions. I mean, there's a lot of information here. I'm sure you have and should have a lot of other questions as well, but I get it as we get into this mode. But that's the expectation is, again, get an update from the team, and then also look forward for next week or next few weeks or month as we are tied up to those. How does that look like, and what support do you need? Okay. So for the sake of timing here, I'm just gonna stop on this view. I think the rest of this between SBD and others. Mohammed, last time I asked you for this architecture for the SBD. Is that done?
Yeah, but it just needs a little communication with Daniel and Chris because their roles is above me. Like they have a lot of contacts with the SBD. So I just want to make sure of something, and we will send that presentation though.
Okay. All right. So Daniel should be back today. So please work with him early next week. Let's try to get that by no later than Tuesday. Between Chris will be gone, but Daniel should be able to support you. Chris will be at Niagara for other. So let's sort that out and communicate it with Tom. Sorry, not Tom, with Alexandro. And another thing here for you, Muhammad, is on the VPS. And Nick, have you had a chance to connect with Muhammad yet? Oh, Nick we lost Nick.
Yeah, I think he's disconnected. Yeah, I will contact him. So.
Okay, so there's this initiative going on to work on a hands-on application at Tau. If you guys didn't connect, please do that. Try to do that today. Mohammed, get on to learn more about that. And there's ongoing discussions and meetings with Sorab. Just let him know that we connected and to bring you up to speed there and get on that team.
All right.
Okay. For Another thing that William and I are working on is proactively have these ADP project numbers or labor codes, whatever the team is working on. We know it's not going to be 100% complete as some of it is floating, but we're trying to be proactive and putting that content in place so it's not missing and it's there when you guys need it. So we are working on that front. If you have a need for that data, which is always a need, but I'm saying if you don't have it in time, please raise that before weekend, right? Before Friday, I mean, before as you do the ADP. So come forward with that. I know, excuse me, most of you asked that. So don't wait to the last minute. And we are working on being proactive on that front. So let's ensure that's in place. And another important thing, as you put in your time, if it's not a project related, like the UPS auditing or any given project, because that's self-explanatory. We know what that project is. There's no need to elaborate on it. But if it's something that like TCB, you need to put in a comment there. What is it that you are working on or you're training on? Vision, app space, robotics, auto coding, whatever it is, right? Whatever that training, please put the note in there. If that's not in there, I'm not gonna approve it because it's we getting audited, and I need that level of detail. It doesn't have to be a paragraph, but it also need to be relevant. So for those that are not putting that, please make sure you do it. Otherwise, I won't be approving your timesheet for auditing purposes. And this is not the first time we address it. So I don't want to stress that more. Include it in there. If you're not sure and you're not certain on which bucket it needs to go to and what is it about, raise that question, okay? I know we have a lot of trainings that we are entitled to do and work on, so that will keep us busy. There's projects that we're supporting. If you have light activities, come forward, right? And you guys are all empowered to work with one another to support these initiatives and the efforts. Okay? Any questions there? You guys good?
All good.
All good here.
Okay. All right. This is a good format. I mean, if we, I know we deviate from this at times. We have trainings, we include guests coming in, but anything that comes in between, please come forward. There's, yeah, if time permits, I would go through all of these, but I know Daniel is not here. He's engaged with a lot of them. Abdul, and if you guys want to stay on and carry on, that's good. I just have to drop out for something urgent that I need to get on. But any questions for me?
I'm good.
Same here. Yeah.
All right, team. So good talking to you. Have a good rest of the day and have a great weekend.
All right. Thanks, Lynn.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. For the rest of us sticking around, anybody have any questions about any of the projects? I mean, I guess we can go that route. Are any questions about anything else that maybe we can help with?
Hey, William, just a quick question. Have we heard anything from AIDT lately?
The last I heard was from Hope having issues with the legal department signing the new terms and conditions. Salim and I got involved and we got that escalated, and I heard that legal was finally going to get that done, but I have not gotten an update from Hope. So I'll reach out to Hope and see if she actually did get those signed by legal, because that's really what's holding us up. You know, without those terms and conditions, they can't issue us a PO.
Okay. One more thing there. Wade contacted me a week ago, and he's saying that he wants, based on the feedback from the plant, he's wanting Scott Broom company to do the Lenza drives, and it seems like Scott was doing for maintenance the Lenza with the E-plan drawing readings as a full week. So he's gonna go with them for these two trainings.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that email chain, and I updated the schedule on the Mosaic page to remove those classes from our listings.
Yeah. He said it was easier for him to do it that way. Since it's a full week, then they can hit both topics within the same week.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense. So.
Yeah. Cool.
Good deal.
Yeah, good deal. Yeah.
Yeah, those are starting up here, what, in about another month, right?
Yeah, end of July, I think we'll have our first. So yeah, a month from today, I would say.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah, I'll reach out to Hope as soon as we end this call and see if she's ever got that back from legal.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anybody else have any questions, comments, or concerns? All right. Well, in that case, I'll give you an extra hour to get done whatever you need to get done today. So everybody enjoy your weekend. Stay safe out there. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to somebody on the team. Somebody's got an answer for you.
Thanks, William.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.